Kyle Mercer adjusted his rearview mirror one last time as he approached the abandoned barn outside Roswell, New Mexico. The November night was moonless, perfect for what he was about to do. After 18 months of moving cartel money across state lines, tonight he would steal $14.2 million and vanish forever. If you're enjoying this true crime breakdown, smash that like button and subscribe for more incredible heist stories that'll blow your mind. Comment below. Do you think Kyle Mercer is still out there? The 38-year-old tow truck driver had lived his entire life in the shadows. Divorced, childless, renting a small house near the Texas-Louisiana border, he was the kind of man people forgot 5 minutes after meeting him. That invisibility had made him perfect for the Sinaloa cartel's money laundering operation, and now it would make him rich. What started as a simple repo job would evolve into one of the most sophisticated heists in American criminal history. Mercer's story reveals how an ordinary man with extraordinary patience can disappear with millions, leaving law enforcement chasing ghosts across multiple states. His methods were so advanced that the FBI is still studying his techniques today. Mercer's partnership with the cartel began accidentally at a repo lot in San Antonio. A well-dressed client approached him about coast-to-coast repos, offering triple his usual fee for a simple job: tow a broken van from El Paso to Atlanta, no questions asked. The first red flag should have been the van's weight, twice what it should be for an empty vehicle. But $3,000 was more than Mercer made in a month of legitimate tows, and his ex-wife's alimony payments were crushing him financially. The divorce had left him desperate, working 18-hour days just to keep his head above water. During the drive, he heard something shifting inside the van, not furniture or appliances, but something softer wrapped in plastic. The sound was rhythmic, almost like breathing, as the mysterious cargo moved with every turn and break. At the Atlanta delivery warehouse, he glimpsed bundles of currency through a torn wall panel, 20s and hundreds wrapped in machine grease and stuffed into tire wells. The client, who called himself Rodriguez, was pleased with Mercer's discretion. Rodriguez was a tall man with cold eyes and expensive shoes that seemed out of place in the grimy industrial district. Within weeks, the jobs became regular. Fake breakdowns on remote highways, stolen vehicles transported to chop shops, auction scams where only cartel members retrieved impounded cars. Over 6 months, Mercer developed a sophisticated operation spanning Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, and Arkansas. His reputation within the cartel grew: reliable, punctual, and invisible to law enforcement. His clean record and legitimate towing licenses provided perfect cover for moving millions in drug money. He developed a sixth sense for timing, knowing exactly when to arrive at each location to avoid security patrols and traffic cameras. But Mercer was also learning their weaknesses. The cartel used burner phones that changed weekly, never met the same contact twice, and left pickup instructions on windshield wipers. They communicated in a crude code. Packages meant money, maintenance meant weapons, clients meant other cartel operatives. They trusted him completely because he was nobody, a divorced mechanic with bills to pay and no criminal record. What they didn't know was that Mercer had been documenting everything. Not in writing, that would be too dangerous, but memorizing patterns, routes, security gaps, and most importantly, their overconfidence in their own system. The breakthrough came when Mercer developed his GPS falsification system. Using modified diagnostic software purchased from a hacker forum, he could create fake timestamps and route logs showing legitimate deliveries while actually running cartel money hundreds of miles off course. The system was so sophisticated that it fooled police compliance checks, insurance audits, and federal DOT inspections. His first test moved $2 million from Houston to Memphis. According to his GPS logs, he followed Interstate 20 directly. In reality, he detoured through Louisiana for a second pickup, doubling his fee while maintaining perfect documentation. While moving the cartel's money, Mercer was planning the heist of a lifetime. Small amounts skimmed from each run, never more than 2%, just enough to stay under the radar, were converted to cryptocurrency and stored in cold wallets. Each theft was calculated precisely: $3,000 from a $150,000 shipment, $8,000 from a $400,000 run. Over 18 months, he accumulated nearly $500,000 in untraceable digital currency. He purchased fake identification documents on the dark web, paying premium prices for quality work that would pass casual inspection. Driver's licenses, social security cards, even employment histories were crafted with meticulous attention to detail. He loaded prepaid credit cards with cash and stashed them in the safety deposit boxes across 3 states, creating a financial network that existed entirely in the shadows. His reconnaissance was methodical and patient. Weekend drives to scout abandoned properties became a routine, with Mercer carefully noting which locations offered the best concealment and escape routes. He engaged locals in casual conversation, learning about communities where newcomers paid in cash and minded their own business. Every detail was memorized: road conditions, cell tower coverage, seasonal traffic patterns. An abandoned mining operation in the Arkansas mountains became his primary target. The site was isolated, accessible only by logging roads that wouldn't appear on most GPS systems, and far enough from civilization to provide hours of uninterrupted work time, perfect for his final score. Mercer cached supplies there over months: tools for stripping hidden cash, waterproof bags, camping equipment, weapons. Everything buried in sealed containers at GPS coordinates he memorized rather than wrote down. After 18 months of preparation, he was ready. The job that would make Mercer rich or get him killed came 3 weeks before Thanksgiving. Rodriguez detailed it personally during a truck stop meeting outside Dallas, speaking in the coded language reserved for the cartel's most sensitive operations. The meeting location itself was telling: a place where truckers came and went anonymously, where cash transactions raised no eyebrows. 3 packages, Rodriguez explained, sliding GPS coordinates written on a napkin across the greasy table. His fingers were stained with motor oil, a detail that made him blend perfectly with the blue-collar crowd. Special handling required. Memphis delivery, 48-hour window. The packages were 3 modified SUVs containing $14.2 million, payment for a massive fentanyl shipment that would flood the streets of Memphis, Nashville, and Atlanta. The money was meticulously divided and hidden in spare tires, wall insulation, and custom fuel tank compartments crafted by cartel mechanics who specialized in concealment. Pickup locations had been carefully chosen: an abandoned ranch outside Roswell where no one would witness the transfer, a truck stop near Lubbock where the transaction would appear routine, and most audaciously, a police impound lot in Oklahoma City, where the stolen vehicle angle provided perfect legal cover. But Mercer had his own plan. Instead of delivering to Memphis, he would steal everything at the Arkansas mining site and disappear forever. 18 months of preparation were about to pay off in the biggest score of his life. November 27, 11:47 p.m. Mercer arrived at the Roswell location exactly on schedule, his modified dash cam recording nothing but electronic static instead of actual footage. He'd spent weeks perfecting the modification, creating the appearance of full surveillance compliance while actually recording nothing that could incriminate him later. The black Escalade sat alone near the collapsed barn, its Louisiana plates reflecting his headlights like predator eyes in the darkness. The vehicle's stance told him everything he needed to know. It was sitting lower than factory specifications, weighed down by cargo that wasn't supposed to exist according to any official records. Loading took 12 minutes, the hydraulic lift groaning under unusual weight that confirmed his suspicions about the hidden payload. Every movement was precise, rehearsed through months of similar operations. But tonight felt different. Tonight was his last job for the cartel, though they didn't know it yet. Driving toward Lubbock, he activated his cellular jamming device, a small black box hidden beneath his dashboard that created dead zones in GPS and cell coverage. Any tracking devices hidden in the SUV would report intermittent signals, appearing like normal highway interference rather than deliberate sabotage. The device was military surplus, purchased through contacts who didn't ask questions about its intended use. The silver Suburban waited in the truck stop's darkest corner, registration papers showing legitimate repo recovery. The location was perfect, busy enough to provide cover, anonymous enough to avoid scrutiny from other truckers who minded their own business. Mercer even bought coffee and a slice of pie, playing his role as a tired contractor working through the night to clear his queue. The third pickup was the most audacious move of Mercer's criminal career: a police impound lot covered by security cameras and staffed around the clock. The stolen black Yukon had been processed through official channels, complete with paperwork showing Mercer as the authorized recovery agent. The documentation was so convincing that it had fooled insurance investigators and police administrators for weeks. "Busy night," commented the security guard, a bored-looking man in his 60s who barely glanced at the forged documents. His coffee cup was stained, his uniform wrinkled from a 12-hour shift. "You're the third recovery this shift." "Insurance companies don't sleep," Mercer replied, maintaining his cover while internally marveling at how easy it was to steal $6 million in broad daylight. The guard waved him toward the vehicle bay, never suspecting he was facilitating one of the largest heists in state history. By 3 a.m., all three vehicles were secured on his extended flatbed trailer. According to his falsified GPS logs automatically uploading to company servers, he was making excellent progress toward Memphis, staying within legal speed limits and following approved routes. In reality, he was driving south through Arkansas back roads that didn't exist on most commercial navigation systems, heading toward a date with destiny that would either make him rich or get him killed. The weight of $14 million pressed down on his trailer springs, a physical reminder of the magnitude of what he was attempting. Every mile brought him closer to either freedom or a shallow grave in the Arkansas wilderness. The mining operation appeared exactly as he'd left it during his reconnaissance visits. Isolated, abandoned, perfect for what came next. The November wind howled through rusted equipment and broken windows, creating an eerie soundtrack for the crime of the century. Working in complete darkness, using only a red-filtered flashlight to preserve his night vision, Mercer systematically stripped the cash using specialized tools from his buried cache. The money was more perfectly organized than he'd expected. Military waterproof bags filled with currency, each bundle marked with coded tags indicating denominations and destinations. Conservative estimate, $14,247,000, more than enough to disappear forever and live comfortably for the rest of his life. Each bag represented years of legitimate work, decades of financial freedom. As he loaded the final bundle into a stolen pickup truck he'd stashed at the site weeks earlier, Mercer allowed himself a moment of triumph. But triumph turned to terror when a voice spoke from the tree line. "You disappoint me, Kyle." Rodriguez stepped into the clearing, his usually calm demeanor replaced by cold fury that made the November air seem warm by comparison. In the moonlight, Mercer could see other shapes moving among the trees. At least 4 men, all armed, all positioned to prevent escape. The cartel had found him. "We trusted you," Rodriguez continued, hand on his concealed weapon. "Made you part of something bigger than your small life." They'd been watching him for weeks, monitoring his behavioral changes and financial activities. His cryptocurrency purchases, fake identity acquisitions, even weekend scouting trips had been noted and analyzed. They'd known about his planned betrayal but allowed it to proceed, curious how far their trusted contractor would go. "The money goes back," Rodriguez said simply. "You come with us." Mercer's response was immediate and desperate. The pistol in his jacket had been insurance against exactly this scenario. His first shot caught Rodriguez in the shoulder, spinning him around and buying precious seconds. Other cartel operatives reacted quickly, but Mercer was already moving, using vehicles as cover while firing into darkness. He reached his backup truck and gunned the engine, tires spinning in gravel as bullets shattered the rear window. But he couldn't take the money. Months of planning, and he escaped with only 2 bags containing approximately $2.8 million. A fortune, but a fraction of what he'd risked everything to steal. Racing through mountain roads, Mercer knew his original escape plan was compromised. Every safe house, every prepared route was potentially known. Everything had to be improvised. At a truck stop outside Little Rock, Mercer abandoned his tow truck with the engine running. Before disappearing, he planted $300,000 on the passenger seat, evidence suggesting robbery or murder, designed to throw investigators off his trail. The Greyhound station was 6 blocks away. A ticket to Dallas paid in cash, no identification required. From there, a flight to Guatemala City using prepared false documents. As his bus pulled away, Kyle Mercer began becoming someone else entirely. FBI Special Agent Sarah Chen arrived 6 hours later. 20 years of federal law enforcement had taught her to recognize misdirection, and everything felt wrong. "This is theater," she told her partner, examining the abandoned truck. "Everything personal is gone. License, dash cam, registration. But he leaves $300,000 in cash? Either he was killed by the world's least greedy robbers, or he wants us to think he's dead." The investigation revealed Mercer's sophisticated operation. Over 18 months, he'd moved more than $40 million, traveling through 12 states with perfect legal documentation. His GPS falsification system was the most advanced Chen had encountered. It took digital forensics experts weeks to understand how he'd fooled federal tracking protocols. Meanwhile, the cartel had vanished. Rodriguez's body was found 3 days later, but other operatives disappeared completely. The FBI suspected they were either dead, eliminated to prevent cooperation, or in deep hiding, having lost their entire operational budget. Chen's team followed leads across 4 states, discovering months of careful preparation, fake documents, cryptocurrency wallets, cash supplies, escape routes mapped through rural areas. The breakthrough came from Treasury Department cryptocurrency analysts who noticed unusual wallet activity, someone systematically converting digital assets through complex exchanges into untraceable privacy coins. He's not just running, Chen realized. He's systematically erasing his digital identity while building a new one. Security footage from Dallas Airport showed a man matching Mercer's description boarding a Guatemala City flight, but facial recognition couldn't confirm identification. The passenger's beard, glasses, and baseball cap obscured key features. The passport belonged to David Mitchell, a construction worker who died 3 years earlier in an industrial accident.